it's really an immense pleasure to be here in Tel Aviv and to be hosted by the mayor, Mr. Ron Hudei, who I know from quite a long time, and I've been the huge transformative impulse that he has given to this magnificent city, the startup city, which I think it's a marvel to be studied from all points of view. And I am also very thankful to himself, to the City Summit of Tel Aviv, and to the Israel government for hosting us, UN Habitat and Habitat 3, all together side by side with the City Summit. Yes, the reason is that we are beginning the thematic meetings of Habitat 3, and this is the first thematic meeting that we are doing all over the world. And for me, it's a huge and fantastic pleasure to begin the process of the international dialogue by opening it in Tel Aviv. I think that there's a lot of symbolism in this fact. Habitat 3 comes, of course, after Habitat 1 and Habitat 2. Habitat 1 was the Habitat Conference. They are hosted every 20 years. And there's an intent of the United Nations to evaluate what is going on in urbanization in the last 20 years. Habitat 1 was in Vancouver, and it was in '76, and it was dominated by the prevailing things and themes of the time. In fact, the first Secretary General of the conference was a person from India, and Habitat 1 was very much correlated with the Green Revolution of India, and the aspiration that came out of Habitat 1 was the intention to improve the condition of the rural people in order to keep the people in rural areas. That was the main idea, that the human settlements should be improved all over the world in a pan-universal manner, and that will bring quality everywhere, and people will remain in the rural areas. At that point, in '76, the total urban population of the world was around 1.5 billion people. Habitat 2 was in Istanbul 20 years later. And in Habitat 2, when the adding up took place, instead of 1.2 or 1.3 billion people, the urban population of the world had climbed to 2-point-something million. Then meaning that this objective of keeping the people in rural areas was not followed at all. And then the idea was, what is going on here? And what it came out of Habitat 2 was the idea that, okay, we don't know why, but people want to go to the city. The migration to the city, of course, for obvious reasons, when you think it a little bit for innovation, as we have seen in Tel Aviv, and for many other reasons, it's unstoppable. And then we need to do something about it. And what it came out in Habitat 2 in '96 in Istanbul, it was also something that was very on the agenda at that moment. And it was participation. Okay, we don't know exactly what is happening in the world, why people go to the cities, but at least let's do it participatory. Let's engage the people in a manner that they are consulted, they are taken in account, because we cannot stop the movement to the cities, and here we have a big challenge. Well, 20 years later, we have Habitat 3, now in Quito next year, and the total urban population now it's about 3.5, 3.8 billion people in the world. That means that the rate of urbanization is not just arithmetic, but it's increasing its rate. It's in a way geometric. And we have a huge issue of urbanization around the world. You know that now we are already at 54% of the world is urbanized. And we are hoping to reach something that it's going to be like 65, 70, 72 in the next 30 years. That means as the total population is going to reach 10 billion, that means that we are going to reach an urban population of something like 6 or 7 billion people. That means that we are going to double the current urban population. And I am very pleased that in the first thematic meeting, this Habitat 3, you see, part of the logo, that this year it's here, and I am very pleased about that. It's about civic engagement. And that links very well with Habitat 2, because participation alone is not enough. There's not enough with consulting with the people, on asking them to participate. The message that is coming out of Tel Aviv is participation is not enough. It's engagement, the subject of the topic. And that is different. One thing is participation and the other is engagement. And I think that we are going to talk about that here in Tel Aviv during these couple of days, side by side with your traditional meetings about the City Summit. And I am really, as UN Habitat, and very happy to do so with you and here in Tel Aviv. Thank you very much.